Good afternoon, guys. How do we stay on our path to developing our minds and being our best selves? How do we do it? Especially when it gets tough, especially when outside conditions start to affect us, especially when negative things happen and it seems like things are never going to change. What I found is you remember your why. Why are you working on yourself? Why are you trying to develop the best part of you through the power of your mind? Your why has to be strong enough. And let's remember that every time we're seeking a change outside of us because we don't like it, the moment we begin to work on that change within us, including the thought that caused that drive to change the outside conditions, the moment we start to work within, we start to affect the outside. So you have to understand that your why has to be the strongest thing that drives you and keeps you determined. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Rise and shine.
It's espresso time.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and successful people don't wake up every morning saying, yes, I'm ready for success today. But when you have a morning routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from Jordan Peterson.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well. And what that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. And so what you're maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky bastard. And the truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. You can't tell, and people have hard lives, and even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. And I can give you just one example. I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush me, would crush the typical person. They're just working flat out, like 90 hours a week, and they have thousands of people depending on them. And they have their money, and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. They don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off. Now, there are wealthy, what would you call, playboy types, I suppose, who live out the dreams of wealth of a foolish 14-year-old, but they're not that common, and you have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly. It's like, I'm just about 60. It takes me like 15 years to make a friend now, as opposed to the 2 months that it took when I was 17. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you. They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that the only person that has those is you. And this is why one of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win, because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And you know, no doubt there are some things that you could improve. You know, if you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind.
I think comparison to other people is fantastic. I think most people just do it wrong. I think most people just do it wrong. You look at somebody else, you see their life, you see what they're doing, you see their business, you see their success, you see how old they are. Is one of the common questions people ask. Well, how old are you? Well, typically it's because they want to judge their own progress against yours. The comparison can be great, but you have to use it as a kick forward instead of a kick down. Most people will kick themselves down. They realize that you realize you haven't done much. You realize that you're not where you want to be. You realize all these other people have done it with maybe less resources than you, at an earlier age than you, and you feel like it's over and you can't do it. That's a kick down. It's a comparison, it's a kick down, and that's what most people do. And that's why there's so much advice out there from people saying, don't compare yourself to others. Because when we do it, we typically kick ourselves down. That's the wrong way to do it. The comparison to other people comes from knowing what's possible and being inspired to want to go off and do it. You know, I just came back from a trip with my beach gang, and it's some big name people. It's Brendan Burchard and Mel Robbins and Lewis Howes and Jay Shetty, and you know, all these big people who've done big things. And we sit around the table and we share and we help, and it's our own mastermind. It's not a paid thing. It's where they go and we all share. And as they're talking, as they're sharing what they're up to and what they're working towards, I'm thinking that's what's possible. That's what I could do if I wanted to. That's how they're doing their marketing. Okay, if I could do this, and maybe they're 3 years ahead of me, but by learning their strategies, I can get there in 6 months. The comparison pushes you forward. Runners run faster when there's somebody next to them. Businesses innovate faster when there's competition. Comparing yourself to who you were yesterday is not enough of a push forward. That's the problem. Comparing yourself to who you were yesterday is great for self-love, but it's not enough of a push. So I'd encourage you to start thinking about an audit for yourself right now. If you're really low, if there's no self-love, if you don't feel like anything is possible, that's where you look back and you look at the progress. That's when you look back and say, where was I 5 years ago? Where was I 10 years ago? Look at how much you've grown and learned and improved, and how much in a better situation you are compared to where you used to be. Even if not financially, just mindset, just mentally, just the kind of person you are, how you treat people, you've probably grown. If you're watching this channel, it means you're into personal growth, self-development. So whether it's from my videos or somebody else's content, you've been learning and growing over the past 5 years. You've grown a lot. You're not the same person you used to be. You're a lot more proud of yourself than who you used to be. And whenever you're feeling low on yourself, that's when you look back and track the progress. That's when you look back and see who you used to be and how much you've grown and improved and gotten better. And that can start to fill you up again. But when you're ready for growth, when you're ready for ambition, when you're ready for the next level, I think the comparison is fantastic. I think to know that something is possible, it's the whole Roger Bannister 4-minute mile. Nobody thought it was possible. Then Roger Bannister did it, and now everybody's doing it. Not everybody, but a lot of people did it. Why? Because they were comparing themselves to him, because they know now that it's possible. And so when you see somebody else do it, when you see somebody else making amazing things, you don't have to default to say, I suck because they're doing it and I'm not. That's a kick down. You can choose to use it as inspiration to say, that's what's possible. And if she can do it, if he can do it, then so can I. And use that as the push to get you to the next level. At our beach gang last year, I got challenged a couple times. I got challenged by Brendan, I got challenged by Russell Brunson, I got challenged by a whole bunch of people. And And I got challenged without people even talking to me sometimes, just by them sharing their story. I look at that and say, I want to do that. Not in the way that I suck and I can't do it, but no, in a year, I want to be there. In 2 years, I want to be there. In 5 years, I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to be there. I look at young Les Brown, I think he's the greatest speaker of all time. I don't look at him and say, he's so much better than me. He's got this natural gift. I suck. I'm never going to do it. I look at him and I say, I want to be that good. That's what's possible. It's an inspiration to move forward. So how do you make it tactical? There's a couple things that I think would be helpful for you. One, look at some people who you respect, inside your industry or outside your industry. It's just something that you respect about them. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Jordan Peterson, maybe it's Oprah. Who are the people that you look up to and respect? What are the things, so two, what are the things about them then that you want to get better at? If you respect somebody, it's because they're ahead of you at something that you want to be good at. Maybe it's in their business, maybe it's in their speaking, maybe it's in their relationships. They've done something or they're living a way that is ahead of you. So what is that thing? Two, what is that thing? What is the thing that they have that you are aspiring to get better at? There's no one person who is the ideal mentor. You don't want to be me. You don't want to be Jordan Peterson. You don't want to be Oprah. I have parts of my life that you don't want. The whole point is to take different pieces from different people to make the best you. For me, I want to be a visionary like Steve Jobs. That's why he's on my wall. And I want to be a father like my father was. That's why he's on my wall. I don't want to be a father like Steve Jobs was, and I don't want to be a visionary like my dad. Because they're not. So you're taking different people and different things from them to help you become the best you. So one is you're making a list of all the people that you look up to, that you respect, that there's something about them that you gravitate towards. Two, you find that specific thing. I wanna have courage like this person. I wanna have love like this person. I wanna be a husband or a wife like this person, right? I wanna be a mother or father like this person. That they're the ideal to shoot towards and improve you, to make you wanna strive to get better. And then three, you dive into their story. You dive into their content, you dive into their videos, their books, their podcasts, their biographies. You dive into them on a consistent basis. Watching one video is not enough. It's a consistent basis to help you start to think like that. Somebody asked me yesterday, why do you read so many books at a time? I read 7 to 10 books at a time. I never really thought about why I do it. It just seemed to work for me. But as I dissect it, I love microdosing on books. I love microdosing on content. Because think about what happens when you read a book. So one of the books I'm reading right now is Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk. So when you're reading Jay Shetty's book, it forces you to start thinking like a monk. It forces you to have more presence and more gratitude and more mindfulness. And if you're going to read some hardcore, another book I'm reading is 75 Hard from Andy Frisella, which is in your face, hardcore, punching you in the stomach, yelling at you, let's go. two totally different vibes. I like both. I don't want to be Jay Shetty. I don't want to be Andy Frisella. But I like the mindfulness and presence of Jay Shetty, and I like the aggressiveness and push of Andy Frisella. And in that combination is Evan Carmichael. So why I read 7 to 10 books at a time is because the microdosing of the books, when you're reading a book, if I only read Jay Shetty's book, I'd become very mindful, very grateful, very present, and then I put the book down and I pick up a different book, and then what you start to do is lose the train of thought. You lose the thing that you learned from Jay, unless you're picking up another Jay Shetty book, but he's only got one out right now. So instead of going hardcore and just reading one book, I like having Jay Shetty once a week. I like having Andy Frisella once a week. I like in the videos that I make to have different people. We have Jordan Peterson once a month, and Elon Musk once a month, and Oprah once a month. Because diving deep on one person can be great, but what happens on the ongoing? I'm much more concerned about the ongoing than I am about what's happening intense at the moment. Because the ongoing is how you win. If you want to have success in anything, going to the gym and working out for 4 hours is not going to do much for you. But if you go to the gym every day for half an hour, you start to see results. So all of that, a bunch of stories in there, but the main concept is, I think comparison is fantastic. You just have to use it smartly. When you look at somebody else, understand that you don't want their entire life. You don't want their entire life, but there's something about them that they're better than you at, and use that as inspiration for you to get better instead of you telling yourself that you suck and you can't do it. Comparison will push you forward. Comparison will help you get the life that you want, as long as you're kicking yourself forward, not down. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's what the science says. And that is not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to do better. When you actually get motivated and then create a specific plan of action for what you're gonna do this week, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you publicly commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment below on this video, it jumps even higher. So I want that for you. I wanna know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week, so I can celebrate with you. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to build a habit. So I've created a special free program to help you, where every day for 254 days, I will send you an email that has a link to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will boost your confidence forward. The link to join for free is in the description below.
If you're going to speak effectively, you have to know way more than you're talking about. Well, you have to treat yourself like you matter. Because if you don't, then you don't take care of yourself and you become vengeful. Oh no, you're okay. You should feel good about yourself. Like, you're fine the way you are. It's like you think, well, that's a calming message for people. It is my firm belief that
tristeza algún día pasará.
Feel the power of your determination taking control of your breathing. Feel the power of your presence, your gift right now in this moment. Now think about you doing your best today on all the exercises we do together in the gym of life. See, we are so powerful, we get to think, create, imagine in our minds, and make real in the world. And that goes with everything. The way we do our exercises to the best of our ability is the same way we can do anything to the best of our ability. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone today? Here we are again, another day in the gym of life. Again, circumstances may not be ideal. Perhaps this is not exactly where we want to be right now, but we're going to make the best of it. So let's do this together. Here we go. When I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot. Or if you want, you can simply do your best walk on the spot. Okay, here we go together. And go. Always doing our best with whatever we got, whatever we've been given. The gym of life is everywhere, it never ends. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever your situation is, if you're here right now watching this video, we are together, we are united, mind and body. Alright, let's feel that body warming up, our blood starting to flow. Keep going, almost there. And stop. Alright. Walking back and forth, side to side, within the space that you have, or simply walking on the spot if that's all the space you have. Again, feel the power of you regaining control of your breathing. Showing your body who's boss. Showing your mind who's boss. The way we take control of that breathing, same way we can take control of our lives. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. All right, everyone, let's do some shoulder rolls. Here we go. Shoulder rolls, 10 forward. And backwards. Once again, feel the pure joy of you, your presence, your being right here, right now. Feel the gratitude show for being able to move your body. All right, arm circles forward, arm circles forward, 10 forward. And backwards. All right, okay, hands on our hips, bend our knees, and side stretch. 5 on each side. Keep those knees bent. All right, and let's twist our bodies. 5 on each side again. Feet flat on the floor. Just twisting our hips. All right, let's do 5 push-ups. We're going. That's 5 push-ups. Here we go. If you got to keep your knees down on the ground, you can do that. Okay, 5 sit-ups. All right, let's do 5 squats. Here we go. Best 5 squats ever. All the way down, all the way up. Good. All right, let's do lunges. 3 on each side. Arms out. Okay, let's do 10-second planks. Belly's knees off the ground. All right, good, everyone. Excellent. And stand up. And let's reach for the ceiling or the sky, wherever we are. Here we go. On your toes. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you reaching your best, no matter what. All right. And let's reach for our toes. Straight knees. Again, it's okay if you don't touch your toes, just reach. Safely, without hurting yourself. You should just feel a pull. You shouldn't feel pain. Okay, come on back up. And let's work on our balance. Grab one leg. Find that balance. Bend the other knee if you have to. And pull back your heel towards your body. Pull that thigh back. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feel the power of you finding your balance right now. And switch. The other one. Feel the power of all of us together in this moment, united, doing our best together on these stretches and exercises. All right, and switch. This time hug your knee, the other side. And work hard to find that balance. Think about what you're doing. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Okay, and switch, the other one. Again, bend the other knee as you pull one up and hug the one knee. Okay, good. All right, and let's sit down. Let's do our V-shaped stretch by reaching for the floor as far away from your body as you can. Hold it for 10. And reach for one side. Hold it there. And switch the other side. Okay, feet together and gently push your elbow. Again, enjoy fully the process we're doing. Working on our bodies and working on our stretch every movement. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground, go as far back as you can. And switch, your side. As far back as you can, hold that knee down. Always reach one a little bit more than you did last time. Alright, okay, and legs crossed. Actually, before we do that, let's roll onto our bellies. And let's push the floor and look up at the sky or ceiling. Hold it for 10. Here we go. Alright, and now legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Focused on our breathing. Tapping into that power. That power to see first in your mind what you want to bring out into the world. That's our determination, our greatest power ever. Always available to us. So right now I'm going to see myself doing the best I can to hold the plank position for one song, and then the best I can to hold my side plank positions for the rest of the other song. 2 songs today for me. What about you? What are you going to see in your mind? What exercise are you going to visualize right now? You're going to visualize yourself doing your best dance, your best jog, your best squats, your best sit-ups, your best jumping jacks, whatever it is. See in your mind right now before you bring it out into the world. Okay, here I go, plank position, holding it as long as I can. Here we go. What about you? What are you working on right now? Whatever you're doing, do it to the best of your ability and feel the joy. Feel the power of you loving what you're doing right now. That's why I love the gym of life. It goes wherever we go. Whether we're at school, whether we're at work, at home, we have that power. We have that power to control our minds, to do our best on whatever it is we're doing. Whether it's a plank, whether it's sitting down, your legs crossed, your back straight, meditating, whether it's reading a book, whether it's being your best, kind to your friends, your family, do it with everything you got, with every part of your being. You were born to do that. No matter what's going on around you, you control what goes on inside your mind, and therefore what goes on in your body. Always remember your breathing. Control your breathing. I love the joy of feeling that moment when it comes, when my body wants to quit, when the discomfort is getting to be too much. And then I stand in that space, I get to determine. I get to choose. I get to make the winning choice. That's determination. To keep going as much as I can, a little bit more than last time. I feel my muscles achy, trembling. But I get to choose. No, I get to determine. I get to make the winning choice of not giving up. I'm And if I do choose to lose, I give up, I get to come back again and again. Every single time. It's the same power you have. We all have. No matter what. Alrighty. Proud of my effort there. Next song, I'm gonna hold the side plank position for one side and then side planks for the other side. Show you in a moment. How about you? You proud of your effort so far? Keep going, everybody. Keep going. Keep moving. Moving is winning. Doing our best is winning. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing. That's the gym of life. Here we go. You can feel free to do what I'm doing, or again, if you want to decide to do something else, something that you want to improve on from last time, an exercise, whatever it is, keep doing it, keep going, do your best, try to do a little bit better than last time. That's your determination. You get to use it wherever you go, wherever you are. You get to determine, you get to win, make the winning, accurate, kind, peaceful, loving, positive choice to keep going, to keep finding out how unlimited you really are. So I'm just trying to hold my my body in a plank position with my one elbow down, other arm on the side of my body, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm lifted off the ground. The other side too. That'll be my exercises for today. How about you? Keep going, whatever you're doing. You're dancing, you're doing jumping jacks, doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, whatever it is, keep going. Alright, other side now. Gotta hold it for the duration of the song. If not, I'm gonna keep going. Even if I fall down or stop, get right back up and keep going. Always do my best, always seeking and striving for my best, for our best. The more I do my best, the more I believe others around want to do their best. And that goes for you. That's how powerful we are. You doing your best right now, wherever you are, whatever exercise you're doing, that's the same process that other people can be inspired by. Really simple. Just live. Be your best. Be your true being. Don't let negativity, don't let fear, don't let the pain, the discomfort stop you forever. Keep going. Find out your pure joy, your happiness. All through your body and your mind, together as one. Song's not over. Gotta get back up, gotta keep going. Let's do the other side. You too, keep going until the music stops. Don't stop, keep going. Alright, excellent job. And let's bring it back. Let's connect our breathing. To our body, to our mind, to our energy. To our energy of determination. That's right. We determine. We don't choose and lose, give up, believe lies, give in to fear. We don't do that. We don't give in to anxiety, stress, things that are not the truth of who we are. The way you did your best today, whatever exercises, stretches you chose to do, it's the same process you get to use here, now, wherever you go. In the gym of life, you get to grow your mind. You get to grow your mind health and your mind wealth. It's all possible if you determine, make the winning choice to be kind, to be peaceful, caring, loving, appreciative, grateful for everything you have here and now. I'm so grateful for my breath right now. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for our being, what we all truly are. I'm proud of my effort today, and I hope you are proud of yours. Because that effort, that process, that determination you use, it's available to you all the time. It's your greatest gift. So don't ever give up on using your determination to be your true, kind, positive, loving self. To control your own mind, no matter what is going on outside of it. You are infinitely intelligent, powerful beyond measure, and you get to work now more than ever. Your own mind, your own body, your own energy. Making yourself better now so that you can be better forever. I love you, everyone. Have a great week. Have a great day. Enjoy your life every moment, no matter what. We are united always. Love you guys.
The Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can watch just this video, or if you want to sign up for the whole series for free and get the
You should probably read all your poems out loud. Dogs are very good to read poetry too.
the bonus companion worksheets that go along with this video. Check out the link in the description below. All right, so today is bonus day number 5, and we're gonna learn how to improve our relationships.
We've been together a long time that I feel like we need to spice things up. Any suggestions on how to keep the excitement alive in a long-term relationship? Speak into the microphone. What's your recommendation on how to get the mic so we can hear this?
You know what?
I'm
I would
listening
say,
to both of you.
I would say
You do costumes?
no. I don't do customs. You know, once
Little
I
schoolgirl?
oh my God, once I
You play
tried.
nurse and he plays bad doctor?
No.
Okay.
Once I tried this. This is so many years ago, and I got the whole negligee thing, and I'm standing at the stairs when he comes in, and he literally comes in. Stedman walks right past me and says, "What are you doing?"
I got one better. Wrap myself up with saran wrap.
No,
and
you
put-
didn't.
Yes, I did. When I was married, put on the trench coat. He came out and went, ta-da! And he went, what is that? So that's not good for your ego. So what's our question, what's our answer, Oprah, about spicing things up? Because I hear the young people today want to spice things up.
So I would say, ask him what would be spicy, because
That
you
is
can be
very good
standing
advice,
there
yeah.
in a
Saran wrap.
saran wrap, or you could be,
Your
you know,
nurse outfit.
wrapping yourself up as a pretzel, you know, doing calisthenics.
You can get limber. Yeah.
You could get limber, and he's like, what is that? So you'd say, what would be the sexiest thing
That
for
I
you-
could do.
that I could do, or what really turns you on? For me, I gotta say, making cornbread kind of serves the purpose. I made some cornbread yesterday, and you would have thought I stripped myself buck naked. Like a little cornbread and black eyed peas goes a long way in my house.
There you go.
Sleeping together on the first date, yes or no?
No.
No.
Oprah, are we old?
No.
Because
Well, we are old, but
why buy the cow when he can get the milk for free? Not that we're cows, I'm not saying that, but I just think it changes the dynamic if a guy knows he'll sleep with him on the first date. Now, if you ask guys, they say that they don't judge you if you sleep on the first date. I think they do.
we sound very old.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We're not old, we're just experienced.
Yeah.
If you don't have a goal, you know, if you don't have a purpose for your relationship and pretty much anything, it's like if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a place that you're going, something that you want to accomplish, something you want to do, you can really get lost in the murk of the journey.
There has to be a vision for.
There has to be a vision, right?
Yes. Right.
So why are we together? You know, it's like, I mean, you fine, you know. You know, but as an answer for why two spirits would join together and decide to travel this perilous journey of life together, fine, or you can cook, or you keep the house protected, that's really not enough. There's so much more that you have to be dedicated to.
Wow.
You know, to
That is
keep
so
it
true.
together.
So what is the bigger vision for your marriage? What is the bigger?
Well, we had to figure that out because we're two big beings that came together.
Yes.
And I had my vision and he had his. And so we had to join it. And so we decided.
You just do what she say. You know?
Yeah, basically. That's the vision.
Yeah. No, but I really want to hear.
Right.
I really want to hear.
Well, once we started to see how the children were growing, and, you know, Willow and Jaden and Trey, with how they were becoming their own beings, we decided, okay, we want to make a family business. How do we incorporate all the talent that we have in this family? Right. So that's our vision, to create a place where their dreams can come true and our extended family's dreams can come true as well.
What I found in my life for years, I had a relationship with someone who was a great lady, and we had tons of love, but very little passion, and I wanted more passion. But I didn't understand what the triggers were. I didn't understand the differences in values and rules. I didn't know how to shift anything. Nobody teach you this. And so I'd be in this experience where it's like, wow, you know, I remember being on stage vividly in a room that would have been my ultimate years before. It was at the Continental Center in New York City. There were 13,000 people in the room, 12,000 something hundred, almost 13,000 people. And I was doing my gig, and we were rocking, like what we're doing here with 5,000 matches and 13,000. And we were going full tilt with a level of intensity. It was unbelievable, and people were out of their mind. And during one of the stretch breaks, one of my partners came up and told me my company had gone public that morning, and that's the morning where my stock alone was worth $400 million. So he's Tony, you just made $400 million this morning while you're doing what you love. I was like, good morning. You know, it was a great morning. But you know what was interesting? It was really great. It was like, wow, that's wonderful. And then what I really want to do is get right back into what I loved. It didn't, like, it was a cool thing, but it didn't change my life. But the biggest thing is, at the end of that night, I'm connecting people, high-fiving, signing, hugging people, and it's just a beautiful day. And I get home, and I'd made $400 million. I've been with almost 13,000 people. I'd done what I loved. I was on fire and alive, and I went home, and I was miserable. Because when I went home, the person I was with wanted me to be something different than what I was. Kind of like, that's why I understood Sarah May. Sarah May was trying to be something she thinks people want or people are expecting from her, but it's not her. So the person I was in a relationship with, when she met me, he's like, God, he's unbelievable. He's this powerful force of nature. He can shake a building with people and move people. And then it was like, why are you so f***ing loud? I was like, loud? This is me. Right? And so what I learned to do was be something different that I really wasn't. And so when you're being something you're not, you're miserable. Who knows what I'm talking about here? Say I. And I'm such a lover. I love people. I never want somebody to not be happy. So I would always sacrifice everything to try to make somebody happy, but by not being who I was. There was nothing wrong with her. I was just miserable because I didn't understand the game. When I finally figured this process out, and by the way, guess how I did it? I interviewed people. I had a couple guy was 92, woman's 89, came to my Date with Destiny seminar, and these two were physically all over each other all the time. I mean, so much so it was like, get a room. I mean, this is hard to watch, right? And everybody in the whole seminar noticed it, so I finally brought them on stage and interviewed them. Shit, they're young punks in their 60s. So I bring this 92-year-old man, this 89-year-old woman up, and I said, I gotta interview you guys. So I'm interviewing them, I said to him, I said, tell me something. I said, you two seem to not just love each other, you love each other. And they went, oh yeah. I mean, you're rather physical, aren't you? They said, oh yes, we love to be together. I said, and you guys have intimate relations? Oh yes, every day. Every day? Sometimes several times a day, the woman says. No exaggeration. And they were so adorable, and they were all of each other, hugging each other, grabbing each other, touching each other. And I said to him, I said, okay, there are a lot of people that think when you're together 3, 4, 5, 10 years, there's nothing new. They said, nothing new. They just aren't being flexible enough. They're not trying new things. I said, well, tell me something. What's your belief about, how do you stay intimate? The woman says, well, you can't just talk. You got to touch. And she said, touch lots of things. And she's so adorable. And so I said, so you guys have this passion all the time? Yeah. And I said, what's your belief? And he said, well, we believe that it's never boring because we believe there's nothing ugly between two people who love each other, nothing dirty between two people who love each other. She said, yeah, here's our rule. We try anything once, and if we like it, we do it again. So I spent 5 years interviewing people who've been together 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they don't just have love, they have passion. They're not hanging out, they love each other, and it changed the game for me. And the biggest change in my life, I would give up everything in my life without no exaggeration, no hyperbole, everything I've ever learned, everything I've ever done for the relationship I have with my sage. She has been I'd die for this woman, no exaggeration, but I couldn't have gotten to that place if I hadn't been through all those other places first. And the gift that I've got in that area is a gift you deserve. And anybody can have it. You could be with somebody together for 10 years and you could reignite it because you just didn't know the triggers. Or some of you may find that you're in a relationship where truthfully, you are nothing in common. You're just scared shitless to end it because you're afraid of being alone. But there's a way to do this in a way where things can be elegant, but you can be free and you can bring to your life what you deserve. I tell people one thing. If you're not happy in your intimate relationship, you're not happy. Because I don't give a shit how hard you work. I don't care how much money you make, how many trophies you get. In the end, if you don't have that aliveness and passion, a part of you is dead inside.
My husband has a line that I always quote because it's not all why I married him, but it's a lot of why I married him is this line. He said, a woman's place is in the kitchen, with her feet up, drinking a glass of wine, watching her husband cook her a meal.
Jesus, where is it? What? Where is that?
And that's
a woman's place is in the kitchen
with her feet up, drinking a glass of wine,
watching her husband cook her
a meal. And that is, that's it. I come home and he loves to cook and I sit down and this is why, it almost makes me want to cry, but he'll just stand there and he'll be like, I'm gonna make a big curry, because he loves to do these big mama's cooking things. He's Brazilian, but his mother was Italian, so he loves the big slow cooking. And then
you've got to invite me to your house.
Open up a glass of wine. Oh, you are welcome. And he'll pour me a glass of wine and he'll say, now, darling, tell me everything. What happened today? What happened today? Tell me. And I'll just sit there with my feet. I'm like, how did I win this life?
Wow.
How did I win this life? And I was talking about this with a friend and she said, because you blossomed into the sort of person who attracted a man like that. And you learned how to treat yourself so well on your own that when someone came along who treated you well, you finally recognized what that feels like because you've been doing it to yourself the whole time.
Hallelujah.
So I noticed him. I was like, oh, he treats me the way I treat me now. So yeah, let's go.
Here's the thing about running away from your problems, running away from your past. Have you ever noticed that when you run away, it tends to follow you? You know, I used to have this problem in relationships. And the reason why I had this problem is because I was a very unhappy person. I didn't like myself truly as a person until probably 4 or 5 years ago. I spent, as sad as this is, I spent the first 46 years of my life really not liking myself, really feeling like I wasn't a good person, really questioning the sanity of people that were in love with me or that were friends of mine because I had such a low opinion of myself. And it didn't matter. You know, I was guilty not of moving from one city to another, but I was guilty of moving from one person to another. That I would literally get in a relationship, I would be in a relationship for a year, and then I would start to feel that unsettled feeling. Because what happens after a year of being in a relationship? Well, you got to start working on it. It's no longer the thrill and the delight, and it's new and you're dating. Now it's just you and the person in your life. There's nothing new about it. And so all your old crap starts to show up. And that's when you got to start to do the work. And so it was about the year or the year and a half mark in almost every single relationship that I would start getting that itchy feeling. And the reason why I was getting that itchy feeling is because my past was now there. This new relationship was no longer new. And so I was no longer distracted by it. And I was going to have to deal with myself in order to be happy. And so what did I do for years? Not even just years, decades, everybody. I'm not proud to admit this, but I would literally jump out of one relationship and into another new one because another new one would distract me from the fact that I was an unhappy person. True story. And I think a lot of you who are unhappy with yourselves are looking to move jobs or looking to move the city that you live in, or you're looking to change your relationship. And the problem isn't where you live. The problem isn't your job. The problem isn't the person that you're with. The problem is how you feel about yourself.
I think relationship advice is really difficult because it just depends where you're at in your relationship, whether you're happy with it, whether you're unhappy with it, whether you've been with somebody for a long time or not. But I think there are some probably universal things that you can keep in mind to create greater love, create greater connection, create greater, just frankly, joy and acceptance and vibrancy and sensuality in your relationship. And the first one is to practice positive projection. What that means is you should be assuming the best about your partner and projecting positive traits and ideas onto them. Assume that they are doing their best. Assume that they are thinking of you. Assume that they are trying to do things for you. Assume that at least they're not trying to cause any harm. And this is a tough one, especially if you've been in a relationship a long time, because you've probably already discounted me and this video just because of that piece of advice, right? You say, no, Brendan, you don't understand. My person is always a bastard. My person is always trying to do this to me. They're always trying to do that to me. And hey, look, I don't know your situation. That could be true. But what we do know from relationship science, and it is a science, and you can study communication, you can study the different ways that people connect in their intimacy, in their relationships, in their marriages, and you see over and over and over again that often one partner says something to their other partner, and that person completely blows it up in their mind with this big story about how this other person is, trying to control them. How this other person is clearly belittling them, is clearly being condescending, is clearly hurting them. But when you look at the transcripts of their conversation, you see that the partner over here really just said something very matter-of-factly. And this person who's offended drew all of their past history or some negative parts of the couple's history into that conversation and projected that onto what the person said. In fact, often in conflicts, the person who's the most angry can't remember what the other person even said. They can't recall the exact words. They just said, well, they made me feel this way. And the reality is that person didn't say anything that would, from a third-party standpoint, cue those emotions, would cue that frustration or that anger. But what we all do is we just take what's upset us in the past, We take our old patterns, our old beliefs, our old hurts and our old pains, and we bring them into our relationship with somebody. And especially in a conflict now, we think that somebody's trying to hurt us. We think that somebody's belittling us when the facts of what they said aren't that big of a deal. In other words, we blow things out of proportion because of our past, not necessarily what is being said or displayed right in front of us. So as a rule, the best thing I feel that we can do in our relationships is to practice positive projection. Just assume that the other person is there with you, for you, and in love with you. Think that, what they just said, they're not trying to offend you. They just might be in a bad place. They might be frustrated. They might be tired. They might be distracted. And don't get mad at them. Realize, hey, you know what? This person's doing the best they can. I mean, imagine if we just projected if we gave a little more patience to those that we loved, and we projected an assumption that they were doing their best, and that they were in love, and that they were with us, and that they were trying. I think that if you're in a relationship that matters, a relationship that's important to you, a relationship you want to stick with, you've got to start assuming better about your partner. You got to give them credit and the benefit of the doubt again, because you've probably been projecting all your negative stuff, your own fears, your own inadequacies, your old upsets, your bad beliefs into the conversations, and it's tearing you apart. So you got to figure that one out. Practice positive projection. I think the second thing we have to do is to learn to listen longer. And I know you're probably like, oh yeah, Brandon, listen, I know I gotta listen. No, I know, but people always say, be a better listener. I say, well, the essence of being a better listener is to listen longer. See, respect is really just a demonstration of listening a little longer. And I think what we have to do is train ourselves to be more patient with people, to listen to them without trying to solve their issue, without trying to input our own story, without trying to figure out the root cause of what's going on for them. I know this as a man, right? When I listen to somebody, especially a female, and she's upset about something, or she's venting about something, or she's complaining about something, or she's just speaking about something that she's very frustrated with, and it comes at me, it's easy. I'm like, I just want to solve it. I want to stop the noise, But that is not a way for me to deepen my relationships. What we have to do is allow people to vent at us a little longer without losing our patience. Matter of fact, some of my best friends in the world, I tell them the 20-minute listening challenge. When they get home, when their spouse comes up to them and starts sharing about the day and wants to talk about a bunch of things, I tell them, just weather that storm for 20 minutes. Just listen for 20 minutes. Try not to solve anything. Try to reflect back what they're saying, or just even be quiet and let them just go. And you know what the funniest thing is? After about 20 minutes, almost everybody runs out of gas. Now you say, no, my partner can talk for hours and hours and hours. That might be true, but usually when they first connect with you, when they first see you, when they haven't seen you, there's 20 minutes of stuff they want, and at the end of 20 minutes, they kind of run out a little bit, and they're like, oh yeah, so how are you? And that's when you say, oh, you know what, it was a really crazy day. Hey, would you mind if I just go get settled? Just give them the 20 minutes. Just when you pull up to your house, if you have to, just sit in the car, center yourself, then go inside the house and let them get you for 20 minutes. Just give them 20 minutes. Just give them 20. You can give them 20 minutes. You love them. Give them 20 minutes, then get yourself settled. But if I think we can learn to allow people more time to talk, we start to find greater connections with people. Often we just cut them off. Often we interrupt them. We tell them what to do, and the worst thing we often do is we say, hey, you shouldn't feel that way, and here's why. Or, hey, why are you feeling that way? And we try to do some root cause analysis when really we could just allow them to express themselves, and they'll find their own way. So listen longer. I think the third thing we have to do to maintain a great relationship is we got to escape together. You got to get out. I mean, every week you should go on a date night, or every other week, and you should every 3 months disappear. I tell people, if you've read The Charge or a lot of my work, we say, the 90-day challenge, which is every 90 days, you and your spouse, your partner, your lover, get away. Go somewhere, give the kids to somebody, give the kids to the grandparents, to the neighbors, to the babysitter, whatever you do, go away for 2 or 3 days. Those 2 or 3 days are vital. They could be, anywhere. You could do them at home. You could go to a hotel, you could go on vacation together, but every 90 days, you've got to schedule it and disappear together, where the two of you are not working, are not with the kids, are not in a place where you have the demands of your career or your work, where you can just turn off. And people say all the time, well, Brendan, sure, you can do that, but not everybody can do that. I'm like, no, everybody can do that. If you can't, if you think about it, in 3 months of time, if you can't take 2 to 3 days off with the person you love, then what kind of life have you set up for yourself? That's the question. We have a great amount of control over our lives, a tremendous amount of choice, a tremendous amount of decision, and we get to choose. What are we doing with our time? And if you set up your time so irresponsibly that you can't take 2 to 3 days off every 90 days, then it's time to reclaim your life agenda. Read my book, The Motivation Manifesto, go out there, study some things on productivity, study some things on how to get your time back, make better choices for yourself, but at least decide your life. You deserve at least, if every 3 months you can't take a couple days off, what's going on with you? It's time to look at yourself, and it's time to look at your relationship. If your relationship isn't important enough to give it a couple days, once a quarter, then maybe you're in the wrong relationship, or maybe you're approaching the idea of relationships wrong, or maybe you've never prioritized your relationship, and that's why it hurts so bad. I'd say the last piece is that I think it's really important to stay in your job in a relationship. And I don't mean by your employment, right? You can quit your job, but don't quit the relationship. But what's your job in a relationship? It's to love. And it's so easy to forget that because we get mad at somebody and they didn't run the task or empty the garbage or take out the dishes. Wait, I think I got that backwards. But they forgot something and we get mad at them and we forget our job there is to love. And if you're really going to choose love over choosing your past, or you're going to choose love over fear or hurt or pain, or choose love over being, right, then you're gonna start to find something switches in that relationship, and it's a good thing. See, most people aren't choosing love, they're choosing fear. Most people aren't choosing love, they're choosing hurt. And because of that, over and over and over again, that simple choice in the relationship, they're not approaching the relationship with the intention of love. Right? If you can approach your relationship with the intention of love to say, look, I'm just gonna keep bringing joy and love and acceptance and compassion and empathy and vibrancy and sensuality to this relationship, and you're always doing that more often than you're bringing the negative stuff, that relationship will suddenly start to turn positive. It will get easier as you change your intentions to be more geared towards love. That's your job. Stay in your job in the relationship, to love this person, to make their day, to surprise them, to care for them. Stop asking so much what you're getting from the relationship and how they've done you all wrong, and start asking, what have you been doing right? What have you been doing to add value, love, energy, vibrancy, sensuality to their life? What have you been doing to love them? Ask the question, how can you deliver more love to your partner and to the world? And you might start to experience what we call the charged life.
The other day, one of my friends